All right. So our next speaker is going to be Shelley. And I am really excited to hear Shelley talk. She's been here a part of Joyland for a very long time. And she has such a beautiful, intimate relationship with the Lord. And she's been through a lot of things. And just it's amazing.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Yeah, I don't get up and talk too often, but I've been coming to this church for a while, and I was praying about what exactly I should talk about and what the Lord wanted me to talk about. And he just kept bringing all these things to my mind. And so I got 20 minutes, and I'm going to try to put some of this in perspective for you. I am a living miracle. And I say that with strong conviction because the Lord saved my life many, many times. So I grew up in a alcoholic family. My father was alcoholic, and my mother was a religious fanatic, Pentecostal. And so I was like kind of confused. I liked to hang out with my dad because he was more fun. My mother was very angry and mean. And so I'd go out and drink with my dad and party with my dad. And, I thought I was doing great. I always felt like I was probably going to pass when I was about 50 years old because I knew in my heart I could not stop. I could not stop drinking or doing drugs. I had two sisters that passed because of drugs and alcohol. And I've got another sister and a brother that are still doing drugs and alcohol. And it's kind of sad. But anyway, my mother was really in denial about a lot of things with my father. She didn't want to admit that he had a problem. So, kids don't know how to process when adults are fighting, and especially when it's fist fighting and they're knocking each other out and down. And it was crazy, very, very dysfunctional. And so I was married 3 times, and the last time I was married, I literally moved to California, got down on my knees, and I said, okay, it can't be all these other people. I got issues, and I know it, and I don't know how to fix it. So my journey started. He put me in adult children of alcoholics, and that's when I realized it made me angry because I heard these people talking about living with an alcoholic. I never processed any of that. And so I heard other people talking, and it was like, oh my gosh. Well, I am very upset. And I had to stay away from my parents for 2 years. That's how deep it was. It was very upsetting. And so that went on for a while. And to make a long story short, I moved down to Pismo Beach. I had a house 2 blocks from the ocean, perfect setting. God knew what he was doing. Set me up really, really good. And so I ended up really getting into lots of drugs and drinking. So I got arrested twice. California is a 3-state law. Three strikes, you're out. And I knew next time was going to be prison. And I was very naive. I really was. I was really naive. So I sat in the last time I was in jail, I sat in a room with a bunch of people around me, and they said they wanted to track me for 3 years. And I was like, okay, I just want to get out of here. I just want to get out. And I signed the paper that they could track me. Well, you don't get in jail with methamphetamine in your pocket. It does not happen. So when I walked out of jail, I had methamphetamine in my pocket. I knew it was a setup. I really did. But a meth addict really does it anyway. And it was probably the worst meth I have ever had in my life. I had never in my life heard voices, never. Um, I myself thought that they put a tracker somehow in me through that. And it was devastating because I started hearing voices big time. Well, God is so good. I finally, I was in jail, and he came to me and he said, very tender and gentle, he said, "You've got to change your way of living. You're either going to die or you're going to be in prison." And I was like, okay, I understand. Plus, there's other things in regards to that, but I mean, it was just amazing. He told me something that I had been so upset with him about for many years, and the way he said it to me and how he explained it to me, I was just blown away because I didn't have that perspective at all. I thought he was just after me, and you know, he gave me a daughter that was handicapped. I thought he really did hate me, and he was giving me all these problems. I didn't know a kind God. I didn't know a loving God. All I knew was that me and my sister would go to church, and we were getting saved every Sunday because we sinned through the week. Every Sunday we would go down to the altar and get saved. So I started praying again when he came to me and started talking to me about some real intimate issues. And I started praying, and I said, "Okay, Lord, would you please stop? These voices are making me crazy." I was crying. I didn't know what was happening. I said, "Would you please help me?" Doors started shutting everywhere, and I'm so grateful because he was so faithful. And anyway, okay, let's see. Sometimes I do this, I jump around, but I hope you understand. Anyway, so he closed every door. I had lost everything in Pismo Beach. I lost everything. I had nothing left but a car. And that car, I sailed in the ocean in that car all night long. I don't know how it happened. I don't know. All I know is when I got to California, got up to my mom's house in Sacramento, he asked me, "How do you think you got out of that ocean?" And right after that, I heard this story. I was listening to Christian radio about this huge angel. And I said, "Oh my gosh, Lord, that's how." Now, number one, you don't sail in the ocean, or in a car, yeah, because they will flip and flip and flip, and I mean, the ocean is a very powerful thing. And here I am drunk, and I'm high, and I'm telling the Lord, I'm not getting out of this car, so you might as well just get it over with quickly. Please, I'm done, Lord, I'm done. And that wasn't going to happen. So the very next day, well, let me back up. My car wouldn't start. So when my car wouldn't start, I jumped in it, and the tide was coming. And the next thing I know, I'm going with the tide. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay, this is going to be over quickly, and I'm good. I'm going home. No, that didn't happen. So I ended up going to Sacramento, and oh my gosh, he just started being a father to me that I really, I can't, some of the most intimate things were happening, and I had never experienced those things before. I never knew a God like this, and oh, it was just incredible. I'm not sure I should share a lot of it, but I had pre-birth wounds that God really took me back, literally. And then I know that God is neither male or female. And I literally woke up one day and I was being nursed by the female part of the Lord. So I was bonding, and I didn't even realize I hadn't bonded with anyone really, you know. So he just started taking me in these deep places, and he's just been doing such a healing on me ever since then. I would sit in my room, and my mother and I weren't the best of friends, and I didn't have nowhere to go. So I would sit in the bedroom and I would just praise the Lord for hours. I would sit there just worshiping and praising Him. That's what got me through some of that, those voices. I went to a doctor, and the doctor told me, "Well, I think you're schizophrenic." And I started crying, and because I didn't want to be schizophrenic, I walked out of the doctor, and he very specifically said, "I'm the name above every name." And I went, "Oh, that's right, Lord. I reject that. I don't take that." And he got me off all that stuff. I was on, I was taking drugs that they were giving me. And I kept telling him, I shouldn't be taking these drugs. These drugs are not for me. I shouldn't not be taking them. And I would just tell him over and over. So I finally did. He got me off of all that. I don't hear voices anymore. There was a lot that I went through. But I just tell you, I joined a group called Celebrate Recovery, and it's for alcoholics. And I didn't want to do that because I wasn't ready, but I was told him, "If you'll help me, I will do anything that you want me to do." I was that desperate. I was just desperate. And so he put me in adult children, or Celebrate Recovery. Now, the steps in Celebrate Recovery are what got me a lot more healed too, because you have to go deep and you have to answer stuff and you have to be honest, or it's not going to even work. Why go if you're not going to be? And when you actually write these things down and you look at them, it's like, oh, I own this. This is me. And it was like, it's a wide awakening to see your part in what you've been doing and stuff. And anyway, I had 25 years clean and sober. And when my daughter passed, I did buy some wine, and it just wasn't the same. It was not the same. So I couldn't even drink it. I just wanted to hide and bury myself. But some of the things that God, He just ministered to me. I went to visit a friend in California, and I was living at this place when I lived down there. After I lost everything, I moved into a trailer with some meth people, and I lived in their trailer by myself, and I stayed there, and they got raided, and the people in the house were both police officers, and their daughter was the one that was selling drugs. It was just really crazy. Somehow I ended up in the bedroom with a police officer, and I didn't go out. But yeah, but it was like a pig pen. I felt like the prodigal son. I really did, and it was a pigsty. And I don't even, when you're high and drunk and you're not feeling life the way it really is, you really get deceived about a lot of things. So he woke me up. I was at a girlfriend's house. She doesn't do drugs. I was afraid to go back down there. He woke me up at 3:00 in the morning, the Lord did. He said, "I want you to go to that house." And I said, I ain't going there, because what if they see me, and I didn't want to see them anymore. I was done with that lifestyle. And he said, "No, I want you to go." I got there. The house was totally, redone. Everything was beautiful. Lots of fruit trees. And I'm looking and I'm thinking, this can't be the right house. And so a guy was outside planting a bunch of stuff. And I said, hey, what happened to the people that lived here? And I guess they got caught and the house was taken. I was walking away and the Lord said, a fruitful vine. And it was just really precious, to hear that. So there's so many ways that God had kept me alive and protected me when I couldn't even do it myself. Some of the things that you hold inside, those things that are so deep that you don't even know they're there. You don't know what you don't know. And he walks you through those. He knows what you need. I didn't know. I was ready to go home, but he was not. He was not ready. So I just have to say that I am just that song, when you were playing that song, Mercy, I was just sitting there and I, just thinking, because these are not sad tears. These are tears of joy, because I have such a story and God has helped me get through all of that. And it was amazing. He's been such an amazing God in my life. I mean, he's always provided everything that I need. Just everything. I mean, just the simple things. I can remember Joyce Meyer saying she prayed for dish rags when she went in the ministry because she didn't have them. I had to go through those things too, and it was very awesome to do that. To know his faithfulness in all those small things. It was just precious, so precious. But when I just started, I was thanking him about all those things, because the Holy Spirit brings things back to me. I tell him, please, if I'm in a bad mood, help me to remember the good things that God has done in my life. And boy, things start, I forgot this and I forgot that. And he starts bringing all these things, and I just get so happy. I'm still not perfect. I still have a lot of issues and problems and things, but I know that I know that I know that I am loved by my Father. So yeah. Jessica. So yeah. Am I done, or has it been 20 minutes? 3 minutes? Okay. 3 minutes. Okay, let's see. Well, so I moved from California, and God told me to move. Too many problems happened at my mom's house. It was time to move. And I came here with just some clothes and my car. And he has provided everything I needed. Everything. He knows the desires of our hearts, and he will give us those. Even when we don't think he knows. He knows those desires, and he works in those things. And so, yeah. But he's a good God. And thank you for listening to me. There's a lot more I could say, but I only had 20 minutes, so. Anyway.
Thank you for sharing. I really enjoyed getting to know you a bit more. And the thing that stood out to me was when you were low, when you were lost, when you were struggling, it was his tenderness, his kindness, his compassion that he used to reach you in those places. And that's just how he works. He knows our wounds, those deep, deep wounds. And that's right where he meets us, right there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yeah. I really had to learn that part about him, and that didn't come easy because, like I said, everything was a sin that I did. And
so, Shelley, when you were talking about nursing on the breast of God, that's scriptural. El Shaddai, the many-breasted one. And the thing that's beautiful about that, when you said it, I just saw the Lord pouring so much of himself into you for what was coming. And what an amazing God. I'm right there with you. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
And I'm so blessed by your life. You have always been very thoughtful in your relationship with God. If you are not friends with Shelley on Facebook, you should become friends with Shelley on Facebook, because she posts some of the most beautiful things about God. And I just appreciate that about you, Shelley, just how much you are full of wonder because of him. You're awesome.
But God, yeah. So, oh, okay.
You think you know a person.
Right?
That was so lovely. I'm so glad you shared. That was beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Oh. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, that was amazing. Thank you, Shelley. I know when I asked if you would be willing to do a snap talk, you had a lot of hesitancy. And wow, what you share was so powerful.
Yeah. Thank you.
That was perfect. And I just want you to know, you've always been just such a beautiful, special person since the moment that I first met you. I remember coming into Joyland, and you were one of the few people that I really connected to with those first couple of weeks there. I would sit next to you a lot. And you've always struck me as such a sweet, kind person. The way you love on people is so unique. So I am so glad that you are a walking miracle, that he brought you through all those things, because the way that you touch people's hearts, what you have done since then because of how you know him, is amazing. And I watch how you pour on the neighborhood kids and you bring them here. And I just think that's so special. You have a huge impact.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I want to second that, because we've known each other, I don't know. I've probably known Shelley for 14 years, I guess.
Yeah.
14, 15 years. So I've seen that kindness just exude out of you. We would run into each other at Walmart, just in the community, whether it be at church or whatever. And one of the things that I've noticed about Shelley over that time period is how consistently steady you are in that kindness, in the generosity. You've always been very encouraging. I've watched the way that you interact with everyone else. I know how you are with me, and you're that way with everyone.
Thank you.
And so you're just a walking testament of God's goodness, and you really reflect his love for his children, and I want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Now you know the real story. The old story.
I know everybody already did clap, but would you guys mind just standing up and honoring Shelley? I just think